This is a game I played a few years ago, and the opening was the Caro-Kann, the Panov attack. In this opening, usually white gets to attack the black king, um, but in this game things turned out a little bit differently, as we will see. This is all fairly standard. Here white usually plays bishop b5, trying to eliminate the knight on c6. With this move, white is hoping to set up the pawn advance on the queen side with b4, but this neglects development. I think this move is a mistake. The queen stops controlling d4, and he's still wasting time on making different moves while the king is sitting in the center of the board. The important part of strategy in chess is knowing which pieces to exchange and which pieces to keep on the board. So with this move, knight to g5, black realizes that knight on f3 is the key piece because it's controlling d4 and e5 squares. So exchanging that knight on f3 is very beneficial to black, and he will later exploit the absence of that knight. Now the pawn on d4 is hanging, and white has to spend some more time defending it, and in the meantime the king is still sitting on e1 and he's still a couple of moves away from castling. This is a very pleasant move to play, of course, because now black opens up the center and white has to play very carefully to not lose the game immediately. I think this move is a mistake. White had to play something like h4 and force the black queen to go away from g5. Now black's position becomes even better. Here I just had to play something like bishop to f5, just keep the pieces coming out, and then bring out the rooks to d8 and e8, and just play some natural moves. But instead I decided to try to play a nice move that looked pretty, but it didn't really work out all that well if the opponent had defended better. Here I could take on b2, but I just felt it would be very unfortunate to let the white king castle and let him out of the center. So I decided to play another move and keep that white pawn alive. Now, it may seem that white is getting some counterplay against f7, but actually he's losing by force in this position because black has a nice queen sacrifice. I think white should have resigned in this position, but instead he carried on playing for a few more moves. And here finally white resigned. I was very pleased with that game because the pawn break in the center with e5 was such a natural way to play, and the game just generally went pretty smoothly for me.